Hello, Savage Flight crew, listeners, viewers. Okay, as we said previously, we're going to keep moving forward. Many of you just saw rising star Brian D. Basinga, B, aka B, Mr. Yale triple jumper, who is one of the top end of the rising stars as he's transcending to the star level, with hopes of pushing forward to NCAA championship success next year. Now we're going to go to the bottom end of that rising star, which would be that 14-year-old group. In this 14-year-old space, have a gentleman by the name of Omar Thomas Jr. Now, as a coach, many don't understand how you uh, come into these situations. The way I look at it, you have multiple situations. You have those that have been homegrown, you've known them since they were young, or you met them, you were the initial trainer, director, coach, etc. And you took it from there. Then others, we know there's acquisitions. Some of those things go well with fellow alpha coaches in the industry, samurais, I call them. And then you have a third category, and that's the village. And in this case, Omar Thomas Jr., for those who are not familiar with Omar, Omar is, as I stated, 14. He is top in the country running a 48.87. Okay. Which is fun for me since that's as good as I got in high school. It was 48. But with that, what I'm getting at is that the village, I happen to be at the university, and Omar Thomas Sr. uh, approached me as we were out training athletes together. In this case, he had his son Omar, and I had about four or five others. But essentially, Omar had a very bad strain, and he was stuck. Omar Sr. didn't know where to go, what to do. So we got together, and I recommended we get together as the village, and in this case, reach out to some of my contacts. In this case, Calvin Hicks, extraordinary in the world of leading edge therapies, fascia treatment, to see if we could expedite the healing before Junior headed off for championships healthy. And it ended up a great story, and he ended up winning and doing well. So with that being said, um, that third category, why was that important to me? Because what I call, you have CKs, coaches' kids, TKs, teachers' kids, PKs, pastor kids, and EKs, entertainers' kids. Uh, in a lot of cases, it's very rough for all those different audiences. I'm quite sure you have another K that you can post to me as well that I've forgotten. But in those four, I've seen it over the years. And in this case, of course, I'm going to be sympathetic to the CKs since my kids were coaches' kids. Rough place to be. You're flying into the turbulence in many cases. People think you're going to be biased to your kids. So you gotta, if anything, you gotta work your kids harder than the other kids. And as we know with those other categories, it can go the same way as well. But I also have place in my heart for the coach themselves, the pastor, the teacher. Not as much as with the entertainer. They may cuss me out for that. But in a nutshell, you bond together as coaches with kids. And so I said, hey, let's make sure we get this done for Omar Thomas Sr. and Jr. and the family. I'm also biased because they've got the Jamaican thing going on, which is, essentially what we co-founded on MVP League, where you've got, the families, the best of Jamaica and America working together to produce a great talent. I call it kinematic meets kinetic. Us Americans are usually good at power, explosivity, and strength and weights. And the Caribbean, a lot of my Caribbean friends said, no, don't say Jamaican. Um, are great at kinematics, the angles, the force application to make sure you're in the right position, and the development of that central nervous system. And you can clearly see that Omar Thomas Jr. is doing quite well. Okay, running a 48. So, with that being said, Omar has gone ahead and he said that he wanted to put in his words of excellence. I want to share those with you, and I'll have other requests. We can see if we can make sure we give support to get Omar as well after he does his quotes for excellence. See if you can give. I'll send a link to you in the next post on helping him stay there, get there, and stay focused so he can get that goal, and more importantly, keep that growth going, growth mindset, improve his time if possible. But you know how it goes. The key is to go get the medal. Never can take that away. So without further ado, Omar Thomas Jr., elite 400-meter sprinter.